Hello people, in this video let us look at keratoplasty. So kerato means it refers to the cornea, right? And plasty, you're doing some molding, grafting, that is what plasty will mean, okay? So keratoplasty. So look at this here. So this is the cornea, right? In this they are showing removal of the cornea, right? A part at least they're showing here, and they are putting a new cornea which is healthy. So now let's look at the definition. What is keratoplasty? It's nothing but corneal transplantation or corneal grafting. Okay, corneal transplantation, corneal grafting, right? It is an operation in which the patient's diseased cornea is replaced by healthy, clear cornea. Okay, that's it. So that is the definition. So what is keratoplasty? Corneal transplantation, corneal grafting. So you are taking, removing the diseased cornea and replacing it with healthy, clear cornea. Guys, do you know that there is something called as autokeratoplasty and allokeratoplasty? Auto is where the self tissue, okay, and allo is where they are using donor. Okay, usually we are usually referring to allokeratoplasty. Okay. So autokeratoplasty, what will they do? The patient's own cornea, they rotate it so that they can transfer the opacity to the periphery. Okay. So this is the pupillary area. They are trying to keep this area at least clear. So if there is any opacity, they are trying to move it to the periphery. The next type here, they are telling contralateral keratoplasty. That is the other side, right? So what they are saying here is, if this is one eye and this is the other eye, so this one needs a cornea and this one is anyways blind, and it has a healthy cornea, so they are moving it here. Okay. So that is contralateral keratoplasty. When one of the eye of the patient is opaque and the other eye is blind. Okay, other eye is blind but it has clear cornea. Okay. How's it going, people? What are the two types you studied? In auto we studied two types, autokeratoplasty, rotational and contralateral. Okay. Now let's move on to allografting, allokeratoplasty. Here the patient's diseased cornea, they're replacing it with what? With donor's healthy cornea. So here somebody else's tissue, right? Again, there are many types under this: penetrating keratoplasty, lamellar keratoplasty and small patch graft. Penetrating keratoplasty means full thickness grafting, all the layers of cornea are getting replaced. Okay, full thickness, all the layers you can see. Lamellar keratoplasty, partial thickness grafting. So in this again you have two types: deep anterior lamellar keratoplasty, that they are calling as DALK, D-A-L-K, deep anterior lamellar keratoplasty. Then you have Descemet's stripping endothelial keratoplasty, D-S-E-K. Okay, to understand this, you need to know the layers of cornea. Okay, so look at the cornea histology. So here you have the anterior most, you have epithelium, then you have the endothelium, then you have the Bowman's membrane, Descemet's membrane. In between these two, you have the stroma. Before the Descemet's membrane, you have one more layer called as the Duas layer. Okay. So these are the layers of cornea. What and all you should know here? Epithelium. Okay, you should know epithelium. And here you should know endothelium. Okay, main these two you should know. Here there is a Descemet's membrane. Here in front there is a Bowman's membrane. Between there is stroma. Okay. So what are they saying here in deep anterior lamellar keratoplasty? They are doing when it is only anterior portion they are affecting. Okay, what are they touching here? Only the anterior portion. So what is fine? The endothelium and the Descemet's membrane are normal. That is, whatever is there behind are normal. So they are doing an anterior lamellar keratoplasty. So when do they do this? They do this in keratoconus, right? Basically, when the layers at the back are fine, only an anterior lamellar keratoplasty they are doing. What about this Descemet's stippling endothelial keratoplasty, D-S-E-K? So here what are they touching? The endothelium. Descemet's stripping endothelial keratoplasty, D-S-E-K, it is performed only when endothelium is defective. So endothelium is defective, they are doing some keratoplasty of that. So when can it happen that the endothelium gets defective? It's at the back, right? So when did the endothelium get damaged? So what they are telling here is, so if this is the cornea, where is the cornea? Here. So if this is epithelium, behind you have endothelium, right? So now somehow the endothelium got damaged. So when did the endothelium get damaged? When they were trying to do phacoemulsification. Phaco is lens, right? When they were trying to emulsify the lens, phacoemulsification. That time surgical, when they were trying to do, they damaged the endothelium. That time what they will do? Decimex, stripping endothelial keratoplasty. DSEK. Decimex, stripping endothelial keratoplasty. When are they doing? After surgical trauma during phacoemulsification. Then third one, guys, under allokeratoplasty, small patch graft for small defects. Okay. So what they will do, they are talking about a small defect. Okay. Let us look at the small defect. So if this is the eye and the defect is only one small patch. So they are talking that they will they will do a small patch graft. Okay. Not the entire thing, but this can be entire thickness. The thickness can be partial thickness or full thickness. Okay. So that is small patch graft for small defects. They may do full thickness or partial thickness graft. So in this we did allokeratoplasty. Till now what and all we have seen? We looked at what keratoplasty is, that it's nothing but corneal transplantation. We looked at autokeratoplasty, that is rotational keratoplasty, contralateral keratoplasty. In allokeratoplasty we looked at what it is and the types also we have looked at. Still what and all is there to look at? We have to look at the types of keratoplasty that we have already seen, right? Therapeutic keratoplasty, what is therapeutic keratoplasty? Then the surgical technique, the indications for keratoplasty, right? Then we have to look at how to take the eye and how to grade the cornea, methods of preservation of corneas, how exactly the technique is done, what are the complications that can happen, right? Risk factors, how to identify the complications, etc. we have to look at. Okay. Let's continue. Okay guys, let's continue. So what did we see? We have seen types of keratoplasty. You have understood there is lamellar keratoplasty and penetrating keratoplasty. Lamellar is partial thickness. There is deep anterior lamellar keratoplasty, and one more you saw, Decimex, stripping endothelial keratoplasty, DSEK. Okay. So now let's move on. So this is a photo of penetrating keratoplasty. Where they have replaced the entire thickness, full thickness, and you can see the sutures, right? Okay. So there is something also called as therapeutic keratoplasty. What is this therapeutic? Okay. Treatment, if there is a perforation, that time also they are talking about therapeutic keratoplasty. So shall we move on now? Look at this. So they have explained some steps. They are taking the donor cornea. They are removing the recipient cornea, and now they are here they are suturing the donor button into the recipient's bed. This is continuous suturing and these are interrupted sutures. Okay. So the main thing you should know, the indications for keratoplasty. For exam purpose, indication of keratoplasty. Let us look at this. What are the headings they have it under? Optical indications are there. Therapeutic indications, which we already saw, then tectonic graft, then cosmetic indications. Okay. Look at the optical ones. Basically, you want to improve the vision of the person, right? So the important indications are corneal opacity, bullous keratopathy, corneal dystrophies, advanced keratoconus. So everything to do with cornea. So they are trying to replace the cornea. So this one is what? Corneal opacity. So you can see opacity, bullous keratopathy, something to do with the epithelium, right? Epithelium of the cornea, corneal dystrophies, and advanced keratoconus. They're talking about advanced keratoconus. Okay. So optical, you have understood the indications. What are the other indications? Therapeutic. Therapeutic, just now you saw. To replace inflamed cornea not responding to conventional therapy. All that corneal to prevent corneal perforation, to treat corneal perforation, corneal ulcer basically. Tectonic graft, is this an indication? To restore integrity of eyeball after corneal perforation and in marked corneal thinning. So again here they are talking about corneal perforation. Okay, they are putting what? Tectonic graft. Cosmetic, to improve the appearance of the eye. So just to make the eye look more beautiful, they are implanting a cornea. Wow. So those were the indications of keratoplasty. Let's revise. Optically, what and all did they tell? Then you had therapeutic, then some tectonic graft, then they were talking about cosmetic. So optical, what and all were there? Corneal opacity, advanced keratoconus, then bullous keratopathy, corneal dystrophy, right? These were the ones. Then therapeutic, they were talking about perforation, is it? They didn't exactly say perforation. What about tectonic graft? Perforation. Cosmetic, to make the eye look more beautiful. What was it? Therapeutic, to replace inflamed cornea. Okay. Now look at the indications for anterior and for penetrating. Anterior means, okay, only the first few layers you're replacing. The endothelium and the descemex are perfectly fine, right? So if there is a corneal ulcer, only anterior part, if you fix it, is enough. What is this? Indolent corneal ulcer. Superficial corneal opacity, again here the word superficial is a giveaway, so it is anterior lamellar keratoplasty. Lattice dystrophy, so any problem, anterior lamellar keratoplasty, only anterior layers. Penetrating keratoplasty means all the layers of the cornea, right, full thickness. So what are the indications for a full thickness cornea replacement? Let's see. Optical, so same thing we saw, improve vision with corneal opacity, bullous keratopathy, corneal dystrophy, advanced keratoconus, same thing. Therapeutic, inflamed cornea which is not responding, the tectonic graft for perforation. Cosmetic, to improve the appearance of eye. When do they want to do that? In deep leucomas with no vision in the eye. Oh, there's no vision in the eye at all. Okay. So did you understand for anterior what the indications are, and for a penetrating what the indications are? Penetrating means basically they are not talking about any superficial problem. They seem to be talking about a whole problem, like a corneal opacity, corneal dystrophy, keratoconus. Keratoconus actually is still, they said that it is the anterior part which is affected, right? That time they can still do the lamellar. But if it is advanced only they are doing penetrating. If you remember here, lamellar, see it is mentioned keratoconus, but it is not advanced keratoconus, right? Not the advanced one. Only for initial, not advanced keratoconus. For advanced keratoconus, they are talking about penetrating keratoplasty. So we are done with the indications, guys. Indications are over. Look at this donor, about the donor tissue. Basically, the donor eye is removed as early as possible within 6 hours of death, okay? And it should be stored in sterile conditions. So the eye is removed, they are saying. What is removed? The eye itself is removed. Evaluation of donor cornea. So they are going to evaluate it. How will they evaluate it? By microscopic examination, biomicroscopic examination of the whole globe. So they are checking the whole globe before processing the tissue for media storage. So before checking the tissue, corneal tissue for storage, they are checking the whole globe, the whole eyeball. So they are checking the whole globe, okay. The donor corneal tissue is graded. So they have to grade it into what and all. They will grade it as excellent, very good, good, fair, poor. So this is what they will grade it as. Depending on what? Depending on the condition of the corneal epithelium, the stroma, the descemex membrane and endothelium. So here the only thing they didn't mention is the Bowman's layer, and Dua's layer anyways, leave that, but they have not mentioned Bowman's layer. Everything else they are seeming to decide upon. So the person who is donating should not have diseases, right? Age does not matter. Now let us look at the grading, guys. Grading, we're looking at the grading of what? Of the donor corneal tissue. So let us try to understand this. There's a grade 1 excellent, grade 5 is poor. Okay, let's look at grade 1 now. Grade 1 is what? Excellent. So epithelial defects, haze, none. Stroma clarity, crystal clear. Arcus senilis, none. What is this arcus senilis? These are the deposits that come with age. Senile, senilis. Okay, you can guess that. Then descemex membrane has no folds. Wow, the descemex membrane has no folds and the endothelium has no defect. Wow, okay. So that is grade 1 is excellent. Let us look at grade 5, which is poor. So that will give us in between everything, whatever can be there. Grade 5 is poor. So here they are saying there is cloudiness, the stroma is not clear. There is arcus senilis, which is very heavy. Descemex membrane has folds and endothelium, they are saying, has marked guttate. What is this? Guttate. So basically these are drops, something like drops. So something like these drops in the cornea. Where? In the endothelium, somewhere behind, in the last layer of cornea. So we got the grading. So donor tissue over, grading of this tissue over. Now after that, what will we do? Storage. How will we store? So basically we have short-term storage, intermediate storage and long-term storage. Long-term storage is just up to a month, guys. That's it. You can store it only up to a month, looks like. Short-term storage is up to 48 hours, like 2 days. So they will preserve it at 4 degrees centigrade. So just looks like with temperature they are maintaining it. Okay. Intermediate storage up to 2 weeks. That is like half month. If you want, then you have to do some McCarry-Kaufman, MK medium. Remember these words. McCarry-Kaufman media, chondroitin sulfate enriched media such as Optisol media. Let's read this fully. Intermediate storage up to 2 weeks can be done in McCarry-Kaufman medium and various chondroitin sulfate enriched media such as Optisol medium. So there are only 2 medium they are mentioning. Which are the 2 media? McCarry-Kaufman medium and Optisol medium. Optisol medium is chondroitin sulfate enriched. Okay. What are we looking at? Storage. Storage of what? Of the cornea. Cornea tissue. Okay. Long-term storage up to 35 days. Organ culture method they are doing. Cryopreservation at minus 70 degree. Shouldn't this be minus? Yes. Minus 70 degree centigrade. So long term minus 70 degrees centigrade, and for short term what was the temperature? The short term it was 4 degrees centigrade. That was positive only, right? Here it was 4 degrees centigrade plus only. Okay, let's remember it. It is 4 degrees centigrade. Here it is minus for long term. Intermediate, some media you have to remember, McCarry-Kaufman and Optisol medium. Okay. So we have looked at the storage, the method of corneal preservation. Let's continue. Surgical technique, we already saw this. Surgical technique, we will excise the donor corneal button. Then we'll excise the recipient corneal button. Right? You remember in the images we have already seen. Then suture the corneal graft into host bed. Okay, you will suture it. Continuous suture or interrupted suture. 2 types of sutures. Suturing, and the sutures are nylon sutures. Okay. Now look at this donor corneal button excision. Basically they will take little bigger than what they need. Then they'll keep it on a Teflon block and cut it with trephine. What is trephine? It's some hole saw to remove like a circle. Okay. So that is trephine. Then where are we? Here. The recipient corneal button, again with this corneal trephine they will remove. Okay. A lot of technical details here. So basically what did we understand in surgical technique? From the donor you take the cornea, and then recipients also cornea you will remove and then suture it. Let's move on. Complications. What can be the complications after keratoplasty? There are early complications and late complications. Let us look at the easiest ones here. Infection. Definitely we will say after anything there can be infection. Glaucoma. Yes, we are dealing with the eye. Some graft failure. Primary graft failure. These are very easy to mention. Okay. Secondary glaucoma, because this is not a primary glaucoma, it is caused because of something else. So secondary glaucoma, primary graft failure. Okay. So let us look at what else is happening. Anterior chamber, flat anterior chamber, iris is getting affected, iris prolapse, epithelial defects. Okay. So these are all the early complications of keratoplasty. What are the early complications of keratoplasty? Let us say flat anterior chamber. Okay. Then iris prolapse. Okay. Then secondary glaucoma. Yes. Then infection. Some infection will come. Then what else? Primary graft failure, epithelial defects. Okay. Now let us look at the late complications. Okay. Look at the late complications. Late. Again here graft rejection. The body is rejecting the graft. Then recurrence of disease and cystoid macular edema, that is CME, cystoid macular edema, and astigmatism. Astigmatism, don't forget, okay. Guys, at this juncture, one thing you remember, graft rejection, this risk is very low because this cornea is there, right? It is avascular structure. So the rejection risk is low. There's no blood supply basically to the cornea. So it will not be able to recognize some foreign tissue so easily. Yes, this graft rejection, what is it? It is a long-term complication. Or what was it? What was the word they used? Late complication. So it is a late complication. right? So here they are saying it is after several years after graft it can happen. As early as 2 weeks it can happen, or several years after grafting it can happen. This is because of hypersensitivity response. Okay. Look at the risk factors. A younger patient has more risk. Previous graft failure, obviously if they've had previous graft failure, the body is not ready to accept it. Corneal vascularization, basically if there is any vascularization, then obviously it will reject more. A larger graft size. So if you're increasing the size of the graft, donor epithelium and massive blood transfusion. Where is this donor epithelium sitting? Massive blood transfusion, okay, we can understand. So just remember the risk is quite low. Okay, what are the risk factors? Younger age, previous graft failure, corneal vascularization, large size, donor epithelium and massive blood transfusion. Okay, let's move on. Clinical presentation of these rejections, let us look. Epithelial rejection. Look at the epithelial rejection. There is epithelial rejection line. Okay. So that is epithelial rejection. So here when they talk about rejection, they're talking about every layer. Epithelial rejection, subepithelial rejection, then stromal and then endothelial. Okay, they're talking about the layers. There can be subepithelial infiltrates known as case dots. Let us look at the image for that. Case dots. So that will indicate subepithelial infiltrates. Then stromal rejection, earlier it was clear, now sudden onset of full thickness stromal haze. There's a stromal haze, that is stromal rejection. Endothelial rejection may present as two things here. There is some line again, okay, and there is some keratic precipitates. So coda-dost line is endothelial rejection, okay. So basically this line demarcates healthy and damaged endothelium. Then there is diffuse endothelial rejection, lot of precipitates, okay. That's diffuse, okay. So now let us summarize the clinical presentation of these rejections. What and all will you see? You can see epithelial, some epithelial rejection lines. Then you will see subepithelial dots. What dots were there? Case dots. Then you will see stromal haze. Endothelial rejection means coda-dost line and keratic precipitates. Eye bank, all this. So there's a need of lot of corneas, lakhs per year. And what is this NPCB? So National Program for Control of Blindness. NPCB, Program for Control of Blindness. B is blind, you can remember. National, so Program for Control of Blindness. This you should know. Okay. So eye donation fortnight is organized 25th August to 8th September. August-September. Just note this Vision 2020, guys. So it's already 2020. So there is a emphasis on the hospital retrieval system. So at the hospital itself, if they retrieve, right, death certificate should bear one line on eye donation so that people can donate. Okay. This Vision 2020 is from WHO. So guys, you know, as a complication of this keratoplasty, there can be corneal vascularization. So one of the causes of deep corneal vascularization is this keratoplasty. Okay. So we have come to the end. Let us look at a review. We started off with this video on keratoplasty. We saw what keratoplasty is, nothing but corneal transplantation, corneal grafting. There are two types. Autokeratoplasty, where the same person's cornea they are using, and allokeratoplasty, where you're taking the patient's diseased cornea and replacing it with the donor's healthy cornea. So there you have penetrating keratoplasty, full thickness, lamellar, which is partial thickness. In lamellar, you have DALK and DESK. DALK is deep anterior lamellar keratoplasty. DSEK is Descemet's stripping endothelial keratoplasty. Then you also have small patch graft. Types of keratoplasty, we looked at again the same thing, lamellar, penetrating. There is something called as therapeutic keratoplasty to treat corneal ulcer when there is impending perforation. Surgical technique, indications, optical indications, corneal opacity, then bullous keratopathy, corneal dystrophies, advanced keratoconus, therapeutic in inflamed cornea which is not responding to conventional therapy, tectonic graft for corneal perforation, cosmetic to improve the appearance of the eye, especially in this deep leucomas when there is no vision in the eye. Important, right? So the donor tissue, the eye should be removed within 6 hours of death and kept in sterile conditions. Then you will examine the whole globe and then you will grade it. Now in grading, you have excellent to poor. Poor will have all these cloudiness, and arcus senilis and Descemet's membrane will have folds, and the endothelium can have this guttate. Let's move on. Methods of preservation: up to 48 hours at 4 degrees centigrade, and intermediate storage you have the McCarey-Kaufman media and the Optisol media. Long-term storage at minus 70 degrees centigrade, that is cryopreservation. Maximum you can keep is only for a month. Surgical, according to the textbook, surgical technique of penetrating keratoplasty, you will excise the donor corneal button a little more than you need, and then you will cut it with trephine. Then recipient corneal button, again with trephine it is removed, right? Then you will suture the corneal graft into the host bed using nylon sutures. You will either use continuous suture or interrupted sutures. Complications can be early, late. Early you will have flat anterior chamber, iris prolapse, infection, secondary glaucoma, epithelial defects, and primary graft failure. In late you have graft rejection, astigmatism, cystoid macular edema, recurrence of disease. Graft rejection is a late complication. Usually it's hypersensitive response. It can happen even several years after grafting. Risk factors for keratoplasty: younger age of the recipient, previous graft failure, corneal vascularization if there is a large graft size, donor epithelium, massive blood transfusion. Clinical presentations, actually one thing is this corneal transplant is a very old thing, okay? It has a lot of success rate also. Look at this, the first cornea transplant 1905. Okay, so if there's rejection, how will you see? You can observe the epithelial rejection by elevated epithelial rejection line, subepithelial infiltrates, case dots, stromal rejection, stromal haze, then endothelial rejection, coda dost line, keratic precipitates. So you should know this NPCB, National Program for Control of Blindness, and then you have Vision 2020. Remember these logos, you may need them for MCQs, right? Then, okay, what can cause deep corneal vascularization? Out of the other many causes, one of the causes keratoplasty. That's all for now, guys. In this video, we have covered keratoplasty, types, definition, indications, complications, everything. Bye-bye.